Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, I'm your host for today, Liam Cross. This is PSF3, European Racing Organisation. You knew that already. We are here for the 11th round of this season at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, based in Montreal. We have 35 laps of the 2.7-mile long circuit awaiting us today. And a very loud engine I'm going to turn down. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm excited for today. I don't have a co-host, so I share my excitement alone. But hopefully, we get some nice viewers, as we did last week. Yeah, if you haven't seen, very, very proud to say, we have got 1,500 views on the last stream. Officially, European Racing Organisation's best stream ever. And I had the privilege of commentating it, so I'm very, very happy to say that. And the week in general, I have to say, was a very good week, which means I think I have a good feeling about this week as well. Like, there's something about it says to me, we're on for a good one. F5, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm sorry, Jack. I don't know what happened in F5. I see you're commentating. If there is a seat available, will you be joining us, Jack, on the circuit? I want to know this much. But I also want to know if Clem 04, the new Williams driver, can set a fastest lap. We're on board with him currently as he goes for his first attempt. And as we have a yellow flag in the middle sector, the casino straight, I found out. It's the final sector, by the way, actually. Just an interesting little fact, little fact. Yeah, Jack's let me down though, so I'm sad now. I've got some facts for you about the circuit, and I've already said both of them, so I have no more facts. Um, I'm very sorry, but watching Clem go around this lap, this has been a very, very nice lap so far. I'll get the official hot lap done in a second. I'll go on board with someone, I'm not entirely sure who. Coming around the, how do you pronounce it? Le Pingle, apparently. Le Pingle. The hairpin. It's called the hairpin. Either way, going through the final set of corners, nearly hitting the world champions. I mean, not nearly. I just wanted to say it. Thomas Mongonius goes pole, but Clement, a 110.8. That is a very, very feisty lap, if I say so myself. To me, sis, oh, ever so close to topping it, but just not able to do so. Morgonius was P2 in F5, by the way, and I thought, charitable donation, why not? I'm going to see if he can do it. Prove he's the man in F3 as well, and it's the same case for Buiman. Just went ahead of him, 111.4. Not entirely sure why he's in the Haas. He was supposed to be. Oh, okay, actually, no, it makes more sense. Morgan and Buiman clearly agreeing to swap privately. Fair enough, I will allow it for now. I will allow it. But Buiman going 6 tenths quicker. Buiman, the race winner in F5. As far as I'm aware, he opted, and this is very interesting for this race, Buiman went for a 2-stop strategy. Mongonius on a 1-stop. And Buiman got it right. Buiman ended up winning the race. Maybe he was just faster. We don't know that. What we do know is that 2-stop strategy is viable around here. About the only circuit it is viable. I find it interesting. What I do also find interesting is Apo on the exit of the hairpin. I'm not entirely sure how he's went that wide, but I'm a bit worried about that. And Linus going to be friendly with him, I suppose. Is that Linus or Ennis? It's Ennis. I don't know what's happened there, but little friendly banter, I assume. We'll have to give up some penalty points for that. We don't like fun. That's not going to work here. There is one more seat up for grabs in this session. Unfortunately, it was to be occupied by Macaulay Beard. But Macaulay Beard's not here today because his internet is playing up. He was supposed to be at physio. He came back at the last second, and then his internet broke down. So that's two things in his life which are broken. It's a real shame. It's a real shame. Oh, a little bit of angst in the chat. Linus not too happy with Fabrizio. We're going to find out why in a second, I hope. Maybe a report is made. Who knows? I'm not the policeman anymore, so I can't report stuff. But you can if you're a driver. Um, lots of people angry. Linus, very slow that time, but as we know, it seems like he was blocked by Fabrizio, which would make sense. Banks, however, going pole as of right now, a 110.7. It's a very, very, very good lap time. I think it will be beaten in this session, but it's a good starter. You see 10 people unable to set a lap time as of now. I have to say, I think a lot of that will have to do with the fact that it's so easy to invalidate your lap here. Every corner. If you nail it, it's amazing. But to nail it, you kind of have to risk invalidating it. So don't be surprised to see a lot of fast guys at the back not able to set a lap time. I'm expecting us to be. What happens is we've got a little bit of a skirmish in the first section of corners. Seems like an Alpine letting people through. Oh yeah, it's Apo. Oh no, it's not Apo actually. Pardon me, Apo's just going slowly. It's Farga, in fact. As it's a short track, you are able to do 2 outlaps, then a flying lap, then come in. Not much fuel usage around here, so that would be interesting to see what people. Be interesting to see if people do that 2 cool down laps, then go, because sometimes you risk your tyre being a bit older, but you get a bit more heat in the tyre, and controllable heat, not just a flaming hot tyre. So I will be interested to see if that continues, or at least that trend stays. I would personally do 2 cool down laps, I think, or at least you mess up the first lap, turn off the ERS, wait a little bit, go again. It works a beauty. It really does work a beauty. Let me just see. So I just wanted to check who has a quali ban for this session. We're going to find out. It was Pierre Maffei, Ivan Karakov, and Connor Plump, who are not here. Pierre Maffei is serving his qualifying ban, thankfully. So no issues here in qualifying. Demesis getting ready for his second lap, as Mentelson going P3 for my captain Emery in P2. Ooh, that's looking very feisty indeed. At the top of the field, only not even 3 tenths separating the top 7, as we have a McLaren the wrong way round. Is it Ivan? No, it's Porbeck, who he's in a dangerous spot here. Will he be disqualified? Well, he might have rear wing damage, which is really going to hurt his qualifying, but he's not disqualified, thankfully. That is good to know. Mentelson P3, proving every day that he maybe shouldn't be in F4. It's fantastic from him. A lovely little streak of results. Didn't do too well in Belgium, unfortunately. Oh, dearie me, that's going to ruin his lap. That's in like a big chunk as Linus, a 110.5. And Patrick Farga, a 110.8. Some very, very impressive lap times here so far in Montreal. Another interesting fact. The Wall of Champions has actually got a second name. The Quebec Wall. That's just something interesting. And this is turn 1, 2, 3. It's technically called Farage Senna. And then we come down to the Pont de la Concorde, otherwise known as turn 3. I will not be calling it the Pont de la Concorde anymore, do not worry. I'm not that fluent. I'm not that ethnic. I'm not that spicy, I'm sorry. I am rambling today, aren't I? This is going to be a good one. I can just feel it. This is going to be a good one. If any of you have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, by the way, please let me play it. I would love to play it. I'm sorely missing out. That's all I have to say. We've got 20 people in the lobby now. Yeast in the session. That is good to see. His internet is finally fixed. He's cut the pit lane entry, but this is qualifying. Not really an issue. But he will be under severe pressure to the lap time. He only has half the opportunities everyone else has. It's going to be tight, but we're going to be on board with him. We're going to do a lap of Canada with Yeast. Very, very impressive driver. Not had a great season so far, but he couldn't help the back. Really, that was kind of unfortunate. And then he just DNF'd when he's been doing well. It's not been a fantastic season, but in F4, nearly best of the rest last season. I think he can pull some strings. I think he can set a good lap time. But coming out of the hairpin, getting ready for his final lap, he's still weaving, not quite using ERS, which is interesting because I may have used ERS at my hairpin, but either way, coming through the final corner now, is he going to invalidate his lap time? No, he doesn't. Okay, that's good. That's a very good start. Very, very nicely done. Coming down into turn 1 now, slowing it down into about 3rd gear, maybe? No, he keeps it in 4th, down into 2nd, turn 2, however, lovely entry, skipping the 3rd gear, coming down to turn 3 now, very easy to invalidate this corner, Yeast taking it very nicely, however, not being able to invalidate, close to the wall, coming into turn 6, clipping the curb, well not even clipping, riding the curb, keeping it in 4th gear, activating the DRS for the first time this lap, coming down into turn, I want to say 8, hitting the curbs very, very nicely. I'm not sure I've ever hit him that nicely. He may be on for pole here. This has been a very good lap time, slowing it down for the hairpin, going into the 1st gear, bogging down just a tiny bit, getting a good entry out of 4th gear though, coming down the casino straight now. We're going to see what lap time is he going to do. Into 8th gear, using the ERS as Captain Emre goes pole with a 110.5. But into the final corner, Yeast goes. Is he going to... Oh, perfectly done. And, oh, the margins there, quite exquisite. And he goes P14. So not quite as good as I thought the lap was going to be, but it looked lovely. It was a beautiful lap, just not a good lap. Very sorry, Yeast, for putting you under so much pressure. I thought that was a really good lap. Oh, how good are the other laps then? Wow. Okay, you know, I ain't gonna judge. Tamisa's goes P3, followed by Susie in P, and Alex Wells in P5. Alex thought he couldn't race, but he actually can. He's sticking with us for a bit. It's good to see. Really good to see. There's no updates here. Ivan Karakov, as previously alluded to, isn't here currently. I'm not sure if he will return. I hope he does. But yeah, we will see. And Connor Plump also not here, the harsh driver, which is unfortunate. And Pierre Maffei able to skip studies as Patrick Farger, a 110.4. Ooh, that's a good lap. That's a good lap if I say so myself. Can Martin Love rival it? No, he cannot rival it. Okay. Another important thing to note. Cameron Don is here, but you may have noticed there's a certain Fabrizio Troncoso in the seat of Paul Nadler, Lockyer Kalau. Lockyer Kalau not here again. Maybe he's so comfortable in this position he feels like he doesn't need to race again. I don't know. But it's looking good. It's looking good for Cameron Dunn. He could become the championship leader today. There's only 16 points in it. It's certainly not far from over. And Lockyer Kalau is on holiday, so not able to race. On a very, very, very mighty championship battle. Oh, Cameron's fans / family are in the chat. Nice to see. I hope you're having a lovely day. Cameron doing very well so far. I feel like I have to give a little bit more, how do I say it? A more attention to Cameron, because I know people are here for Cameron, which is weird, but frankly, he's P2 in the championship. He deserves a bit more attention. 100, yeah, and I suppose while we get ready for the final set of qualifying laps, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe not all of you, but some of you may want to click the description, click the link in the description, join the Discord, get to race, get to drive, get to talk to the drivers, get to be one of us. It's a loving community. We've got 2,100 members. It'd be great to have you around. Maybe I get to commentate on you one day. You never know, but it's not that, you know. There's a good chance I get to commentate on you, and I'll be very happy to do so. So, yeah, consider that, please. It'd be great to have you around. What would also be great to have around is Apo setting a flying lap. It's the first man to do the final set of qualifying laps. Slowing down for the hairpin. My nose is a bit stuffy today, so apologies for that. If it doesn't sound too pleasant, there's not much I can do. I will try. But there's a yellow flag in the final sector. Fortunately, real life rules don't apply. Apo is allowed to go flying through here into the final chicane. Oh, the Wall of Champions it is for Apo. Oh dear. Oh dear, it was looking so good, but not quite. Banks able to drive through Apo's car. What's the lap time going to be for Banks? There's only a P6, 110.6 for him. Oh dear, it was looking so good until the final set of corners. Emre having to avoid Apo's car as well. All the champions taking their first victim of today. Not able to improve. Next up, it's going to be a Haas of Boyman. No, it's actually going to be Susie, who's not set a lap time. Boyman next. Linus goes pole with a 110.3. Apo's car now vanishing. Patrick Farger improving, but not quite for pole. Boyman also not able to set a good lap time. I'm trying to think who is on a lap right now. I don't know. There's a McLaren coming down the final straight of poor Beck, P17 here. He may have rear wing damage, and this has been a bit of a slow lap time. Best to move on board, not able to improve. Same for poor Beck. Oh, Morgonius does improve actually. My apologies. Only able to go P18 for Brexio Troncoso. Up next, is he able to improve from his 112? No, he isn't. He will be starting P19 on the grid today. Next up will be either Tomesis or Alex Wells. It's going to be Alex Wells getting validated, but what would lap time be anyway? So I think it could have been a 110 something there. Could have been a very good lap time, but not to be. Captain Emre, can he improve for pole? Yes, he can. A 110.1, a stellar lap time from him. Incredible stuff. Yeast goes P11, Mendelson P11, Yeast P12. Next up, Martin Lobb coming around the final corner, P5 for him, followed by Patrick Farger going P2. Susie up next, goes into the pit lane. Boyman clings on for 13th. We have more McLarens coming around the final straighter. Oh, I'm getting the final corner very, very wrong. Edsack retiring. Is Tomesis going for the final lap? Yes, he is. Around the final corner, brushing the Wall of Champions. He's got no ERS left, but can he make a lap time that counts? It's only P4 for him, improved ever so slightly. Just not enough done. That has been qualifying, however, in Azerbaijan. Lovely to see. I've got a little message from Yeast. We will be doing mid-race interviews once again. That is a very good point, Jack. Tomesis may be into the lead of the race immediately. It would be good on camera. That's all I'm going to say. So pole position goes to Emre, 2 tenths ahead of Patrick Farger in P2. Fantastic stuff from them. Laxa makes up the second row of the grid with Tomesis behind. Martin Love and Susie on the third row of the grid. Banks and Edsack following. And Alex Wells and Yeast making up the top 10. Emre had a qualifying ban last race in Baku. It has been served. No, Belgium. Emre's fine. Mendelssohn and Clement make up the 6th row of the grid with Boyman and Ennis behind Apo and Porbeck lower down the field with Iwan and Mongonius, and then Fabrizio, Troncoso and Alfam making up the back row of the grid. Alfam obviously serving a pretty hefty qualifying ban for retiring on track last time out. Apo isn't a champion yet, but you know, it could be. And I've only just noticed that this is apparently a cross-play lobby. Cameron, why would you do this? Yes, this is a wet Canadian Grand Prix. I wasn't actually expecting that, but it does rain in Montreal quite a bit. We have 30 seconds until the race gets underway. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the link in the description below. This is looking like a very, very wet race. I'm excited. I've not seen these boys race in wet conditions for a while. Belgium was only minimal. But 20 cars, 35 laps, 2.7 miles times 35. I can't count. I can't do the maths. I'm sure you can. The lights are getting underway. The drivers have chosen their setups. When are we going to get racing? Who are we waiting for? I don't know. But I would like to move on with this, please. Can we move on, please? Are we stuck here? Are we stuck? No, we're not. 3, 4, 5 lights, and away we go for Ero Ps F3, the Canadian Grand Prix. And Patrick Fargo with an incredible start. Tamisis up into P2 already. Captain Emery trying to hold the position, but no can do. Fantastic stuff, and I'm stuck in a glitch. I can't do anything. Dearie me. It looks like I'm going to have to leave the session. But we're going to commentate the first lap at the very least just to make sure we see everything of note. Cameron into the wall, keeping his front wing intact. Iwan leaving the session, so I believe he may have been the issue here. Everything is fixed, though. Good to see, good to see. Tamisis so nearly getting damaged. Not quite, however. Martin Lobb, also a fantastic little start from him into P5. Susie battling Banks, going around the outside. Possibly an illegal overtake. Not sure if it will be given back. And Boyman, my oh my, into P8 from starting P13. You must be proud of yourself for that one, son. The F5 driver doing himself proud. Yeast and Mendelssohn, P18, P19. Clearly a bit of commotion at the back there. Fabrizio driving very carefully, making sure not to cause any damage. Mendelssohn without a front wing end plate. Fabrizio into a wall, but he saves it somehow. Only gets a bit of front wing damage, but he saved it. What a save. Clement Zefrin into the pit lane, retiring from the session. So does Ennis. Sad to see him go so soon. Ennis just driving into the pit lane, fixing his front wing. We do have a yellow flag, pretty much slowing one down, and that is a entire quarter of the field in the pit lane fixing their front wing. A disastrous day for Honda engines, as the boiler is going off just below me very, very loudly. Please stop doing that. Mendelssohn held up behind Yeast, losing even more time. But Patrick Fargo, 3 seconds. The gap, 3 seconds between him and Tamisis. This is an incredible start to the race. As we have a crash. Oh, Martin Lobb losing even more of his front wing. Or maybe not. Maybe it's someone else. Someone's lost their front wing. It's Banks actually making contact with Martin Lobb. I'm assuming he's been collected in a crash or spin. It's really, really unfortunate to see. But some of these drivers are not going to be complaining, especially the Haas's, right on the back of Alex Wells, looking very feisty indeed. Alex Wells just about making it around the final corner. Beautiful stuff. Alfam getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as Banks pits to fix his front wing. Such a shame to see him needing help already. And Martin Lobb defending from Porbeck as Alfam looks to go down the inside of Apo, but loses control of the car once more. And we also have another yellow flag. It's Yeast. His second lap, his second front wing. He would have liked for this to be a lot better, I can assure you. And now you now have a yellow flag. We have another big crash, and I expect that to be a safety car. Yes. Oh, just a virtual safety car for now. I don't quite know who it is, but Apo has no front wing, and Martin Lobb is in the middle of a corner. Let's go on the TV pod of Banks as Mendelson gets a drive-through penalty. Oh, it's a bad place to crash, and how that isn't a safety car, I will never know. Mendelson retiring in the pit lane as well. So a disaster. Just quite a few drivers here. 20 started, 3 laps in, and only 3:17 remain. Oh, and my doorbell has went, so please give me a second. I'm so sorry. Not much I can do here. Patrick Farger staying out, not a surprise. As Tamisis gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, dearie me. Bear with me. I am back, and this virtual safety car has been going on for quite a while. Not anymore, it's over. Good to know. Good to see the racing get back underway. And my arms and legs are hurting. I got to the door and someone had already answered it. It was a wasted trip. Let me breathe. Okay, but back underway. The top 10 are flying away with it. I think that genuinely means 10 drivers, half the field. You leave my story alone, Watinio. It was a good story. Half the field having to replace their front wing or their entire car. That's interesting to say the least. Weeman, not one of them though. Neither is Morgonius. The F5 guy is doing proud work so far. That's knocked the wind out of me. I'm so sorry. I might be a bit. Let me repair. I win with a 3-second time penalty, but at this stage of the race, it won't matter. But Patrick Farger, this has been incredible so far. He is flying as Ennis gets a 3-second time penalty down in P15. This is incredible. He's gaining every corner to Tamisis, and while Tamisis doesn't have visible damage, I'm going to have to assume he does have some form of damage. I imagine an end plate. So, you know, I don't have an inhaler, but I would like one. But Alfam, no front wing, once more nearly flying off the circuit, just about containing. I don't have asthma. I'm just overweight. Okay, they're different issues. I don't need an inhaler. I need a gastric band. No, I joke. I'm not that big. Jesus. But Patrick Farger setting another fastest lap. 6 seconds the gap now, gaining a second every lap, and the train behind Tamisis certainly suggests there is an issue. I imagine that if Alex Wells is able to overtake Captain Emre, Tamisis will let him through and then control the pack again. You're going to have to do it if you want to preserve points for Mercedes, especially when there's a Constructors' Championship battle going on. It's looking very tight. Every little will help. And just like that, Alex Wells into P3. I'm not sure how he made an overtake that late, but I'm going to assume maybe lower wings, more ERS. We're going to check the ERS now, actually, just to find out. Yeah, he's using all of his ERS to push. Jamesis not using much ERS, but I would be amazed if Alex doesn't get the overtake done very shortly, because this is looking a bit too slow. So we're now 7 seconds behind Patrick Fargo, and Patrick Fargo could honestly win this race. His first race of F3, he could win it by about 35 seconds. You're being honest here. Demetrius going wide, letting Alex Wells through. Lovely, lovely, lovely attempt there. Would have been a great overtake if it wasn't because Demetrius allowed it to happen. But Demetrius playing this very smartly, and I now expect Alex Wells to attempt to catch up to Patrick Fargo. It's going to be tough, but it is feasible. It is possible. We're going to see as Paul Beck gets a 3-second time penalty. That's really not what he would have wanted. What's up next? Nothing for now. Well, I'm getting very hot, so I'm going to open this. Oh, I don't want to open a window. You don't want to hear the stress of the street, hear me commentating. Patrick Fargo, I mean, wow. He's only used 50% of his ERS as well. He's not pushing that hard. This is a controlled win currently. I'm excited to see this. Very excited. I may have said that has been qualifying in Azerbaijan earlier. It obviously meant Canada. Thank you, Jack. I didn't commentate at all in Baku. I didn't even race in Baku. I avoided Azerbaijan like the plague. So forgive me for forgetting, as Iwan and Apo going side by side into turn 1. Poor Iwan losing the car ever so slightly. And Apo making the overtake for P12, but for all of these guys, it's not worth it. It's Alex Wells with a 3-second time penalty. Oh, dearie me. Setting the fastest middle sector because of the corner car, obviously. But not catching up to Patrick Fargo. Oh, no. Not catching up enough to warrant a 3-second time penalty. It's not going to help him at the end of this race. I expect a safety car at some point, and that especially will hurt Alex Wells' chances here. He only has a few races left in F3. Can't be doing this with them, as we've got a yellow flag, and it's Alfam in the wall once more. Does he have wing damage? He has a front wing end plate gone, and I expect he'll be pitting again, possibly this time, to retire, because this has been a cruel race for him so far. Am I shouting a bit too much? Please let me know if I'm shouting. It's hard to work these microphones. Alex Wells breaking away from Demetrius, however. This has been a good defensive drive from Cameron. Even if he has damage, this has been a good defensive drive. And he's now breaking away from Captain Emre. So the switch has worked to perfection. Cameron showing his speed. P15 currently, as Iwan now... This is not ASMR. I'm shouting. Yeah, maybe I'm very quiet, who knows. But Iwan losing control of the car once more, this time going into a full spin. 8 seconds behind Apo. Not long until we're going to start seeing people get lapped. Alfam sticking with it. I have to give him credit for that. Not pitting. Refusing to pit. He's willing to stay out. Get to the end of this race as Iwan gets another 3-second time penalty. Alfam hits the wall once more. It's going to hurt him even more. And he is lagging a little bit. Possibly part of the reason for all of these crashes. But the front two running away with things. Aye, Roger Well, nice to see you, man. Hope you're having a lovely day. Same goes out to all 18 viewers here for this Canadian Grand Prix. The 11th round, Iwan speeds into the pit lane, and that's going to be his race over, retiring in the pits. Can't blame him, in all honesty. It's been a disaster from that man so far. Just not the race. Not the race for him, but Ivan will come back stronger next time. Fabrizio going very slowly through the final chicane, but he's keeping up. He's sticking with it, and he may get some points. He's got points in 3 of the last 4 races, while technically being the slowest driver on track. The man is steady with a will. He knows what he's doing. He's safe. He's composed. He picks up the pieces and he gets the job done, which is lovely to see as Patrick Clark goes for the fastest lap at 1:19.3 in these wet conditions. That is a really good lap. Can we just admire for a second how beautiful this Aston Martin is? This Aston Martin, since the new updates, what a beast of a car. In real life, on the road, and in F1, this car is a beauty. The JCB ruins it a tiny bit, but that's all I can say. The Ferrari, I'm not actually a fan of the Ferrari, even if I drive it. I don't like the lack of sponsors on the nose. It feels bare, but that's just me. People all up and down the field getting into a little bit of a train now. Not much going on. The gap is just extending between Alex and Cameron and Patrick Farger in a league of his own. We're going to have 11 laps so far. Breaking, Liam Cross sacked by Ferrari due to his choice of words in commentary. Aston Martin interested in signing the driver. I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no. Susie, however, maybe will be saying no to the fact that his junior teammate has overtaken him at some point. I didn't get to see where, but Susie clearly going off at some point. Boyman up into P6, staking his claim. It's been a fantastic little battle so far. And Alex Wells has left the session. No, he's disconnected. He's disconnected, and he's gonna... That gap he had to Patrick Farger. Jack, it's not been a thrilling race so far, I'm gonna have to be honest. But it's getting a little bit more exciting. Alex Wells, when is he gonna join back? Do I invite him? Yes, I do. Because I'm a nice man. Invites and requests. Oh, I can't invite people. Oh, this is a crossplay lobby. Oh dear, Alex, I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to rely on Cameron Don inviting you back. Or one of the retired drivers, which may not be possible. Alfam lapped by the... Is Alfam lapped? Yes, Alfam has been lapped, unfortunately. So he did pit in the end. But all credit to him for staying in the race. It's really good to see. I'm happy to see that. Will he get out of the way of Porbeck, however? And this will be enough to drive through him. He went slow enough to let Porbeck through. I'll give him that one. That's Alex Wells now overtaken by Tomesis. The AI not driving too well for him. Hope you're having a good day. Comment who you think is going to win this race. I think